Shut up and sit down.
Hey everybody, this is Combine Chris here. I'm still trying to get this intro music figured out, so you have to let me know. I'm not sure if I like it or not. But, well, welcome back. We are going to talk about today. We have something special. So, I'm going to show you probably one of the first 9600s to ever be in a Combine Derby. 9600 John Deere Combines from the 90s, and one of these, this Derby in Wisconsin had one in it a couple years ago, and so we're going to talk about how it actually performed. So let me get the pointer on here. So you'll see it over here. And this is a heavyweight class because we've got 82, we got an 8820, we've got these big claws dominators, we got big international machines, so this is definitely a big class. So let's go ahead and watch it, and we'll talk about what we see on the 9600, how it runs in the Derby. Turn it down just to here. We got the 1440. It's sort of a smaller one. These clauses are interesting. I'll tell you a little story when it's done. 8020, huge machine. So just seeing how the 8020 looks to everything else. So we got the seems to be pushing that international around. So it definitely has power. Seems to be stuck there. He seems to be having a shifting problem. But it's just pushing that 1460 like it's nothing. So that's very significant. Now here's the problem, is that you see his tires starting to get low. So unfortunately this machine is going to have a problem. Now remember, one of the problems you'll have in a Combine Derby is when the rim starts spinning and the rubber doesn't move. So it seems to be caught up. It seems to have gone inside the rim and gotten stuck, which is a bad sign. So so now this person's going to have a problem, whoever's driving this 9600. It's going to start having a problem. So I'm curious to know what the story behind this machine is and why it's in the Derby. But, you know, 9600s are getting pretty cheap nowadays, comparatively speaking. And, you know, you might get down into the couple $1,000 range for a really worn out one. So, you know, seeing this here is definitely, you know, it definitely caught my attention because I've never seen one in a Combine Derby before, and I wanted to see how it performed. So let's go ahead and play some more. See how it does. But anyway, I'm disappointed because this tire sort of puts it out of the Derby early. Now, see, this is a couple years ago, so I'm curious. I've been wanting to see this Jackson County Fair Combine Derby in Wisconsin. Is crazy. This is like one of the ones I actually want to go see. There's only a couple that I'd want to go see, but it's really crazy because they're pretty fast action. It's not wet, but they dig up the dirt a lot, so you know you don't have as much traction in a different way. In general, Combine Derbies, I mean, the Monroe County Fair I think is good because they really wet it down so the machines slip and slide around, and that's intentional because it helps absorb the shocks for the drivers and also for the machines, making both last a lot longer. So anyway, so let's continue to press play, but watch that rim spin. He's backing up. He's got traction now. Rim sort of popped back out. So that's good, but it's still not a good sign because the tire's not very well. But it is interesting to see how it performs with the rim, with a tire down, I should say, on the rim. So now it's, let's press pause. So now you see the headers digging in the ground because of the flat tire, and so that's going to present a challenge. So it's actually it's dragging now. Now this claws is going after it. So let me rewind it. Let me rewind it. So this is 8820. So just to show you how big everything is, the 8820 is a monster machine, like 20 some thousand pounds or more than that. So this class is definitely big. And you know what? I missed that clause turning around. There goes the claws. He's going after it. He's going to target the rear tire. Took a hard hit on that rear tire. Okay, so what you see here is now the rear tire has been knocked out. So what's interesting is, and I'm curious on, when people put together their machines, they only have so much time to spend on putting together a machine. But if I had a 9600, I would try to find a rear axle that's not four-wheel drive. So four-wheel drive axles aren't held together fairly well. They look intimidating because they're thick and they've got the big tires on it, but in reality they're just two pins and they're pivot pins, and so when you get a good hit on the pins break and the tire falls right off. So if I had that 9600, like, I would hunt down a John Deere 60s 8820 axle, 7700 axle. Most of the John Deere axles are interchangeable, especially on the different generations. I'm pretty sure it's probably the same. The 9600s and 8820s share a lot of parts, so at least you would think that the 8820 axle would fit. So, I would try to find an axle like this and put it on. It would make it last a lot easier. The other thing that you want to do is you don't want your rear axle to have a lot of traction. The thing that caused this machine to break pretty easily was it had traction tires on the rear, and so that coupled with the four-wheel drive meant, and maybe this guy knew it. If I was that guy, I'd go at it. Maybe he knew the flaw of it and decided to go right at it and get a good shot at it, and it did exactly what it was supposed to do. So unfortunately, this is a pretty fatal with the flat tire in the front, and now the rear axle spindle, or whatever you want to call four-wheel drive, when broken. That's pretty much written the book for this 9600 this time. What's interesting about these clauses, let's get it back into the picture here. So these clauses are interesting. We ran a Ford combine, which was a clause combine. Clause, I don't know. I might be saying it wrong. Who knows? That's how I say it in my mind. That's all that matters. So anyway, we had a Ford, which is a derivative of this, older version, but I'm sure it's engineered the same. Well, anyway, the gear shifters are really bizarre. This person seems to have the gear shifter dialed in, but it was a weird mess of cables. It was pretty difficult to shift, especially when the machine started getting difficult. The other guys didn't want to screw around with it too much. I thought, when I saw these videos, and I saw these guys with the clauses really banging around, left and right, I knew there's got to be a way to fix these shifters to get them to work, but they ended up scrapping it. It had a lot of weird parts on it that couldn't be swapped out. So now notice how many have John Deere. Notice how many have John Deere headers on it. Even the clause does. Didn't get a good shot of the 9600 there. So you can see the tires and the rear tire. You see that panel sticking out, so those panels aren't lasting very long. probably have to strip it out. Yeah, John Deere header just didn't deform at all on getting hit. I don't even know if that's a 2500. It doesn't even look like a... I don't know. Oh, wow. Oh, so he broke his final drive right there, and it... Yeah, somebody's walking outside. He broke his final drive right there. This header is interesting because it doesn't look like a John Deere header, but it looks like one. So I'm curious on what it is. Whatever it is put together really well. It appears to be a John Deere one, but who knows? But anyway, this once the International break their final drives, I mean, well, any combine when they break their final drives, they're laying on the ground at that point. So that's a fatal hit. It takes a really hard hit to do that, by the way. The International final drives, especially on those versions of 1400, they are put together really well. So that's a pretty significant slam. There we go. Anyway, back. Dogs are protecting everything. So, where's I at? Oh yeah. Okay. So so one thing I wanted to play here was this 9600 guy trying to shift. Let's go back just a hair. He seems to be trying to get something into gear, so gear must also be locked up. Because you see him struggling over there. I'm trying to do a lot more of these play-by-play videos, so hopefully you'll enjoy them. But anyway, I wanted to just highlight the first 9600 that got it on a video, and it was this Jackson Fall. What was it? Black River Falls, Jackson County, Wisconsin. So it was that particular Combine Derby. Well, hopefully you enjoyed it. I did, and for anyone I've been looking at this Combine Derby, trying to see if I've been able to, if somebody else has posted a video, because this was 2021 that this was recorded, and I can't find to see if this person's put that 9600 back in the Derby again. So if you have a video of the 9600, please let me know. I'd love to see it, see how it's performing in these past 2 years since it first showed up in 2021. Anyway, hopefully you enjoy this video. Make sure to subscribe and like the video, and we'll see you back next time.